Hello, hello. Welcome to The Witch's Eyes, Part 2. Chapter 6 Brain. After that horrific incident, Yuki wouldn't let Nozomi out of her sight. She moved as much equipment as she could to the house for the 2 week observational period. Nozomi didn't mind. If anything, she quite enjoyed her time with Yuki. She was practically glued to her hip, and she needed to be. Whenever Nozomi got scared, worried that she was no longer breathing, Yuki was there, recounting their chant and easing her anxieties. In the morning, Nozomi showed Yuki how to make egg rolls and other dishes. During the day, they'd read old books and watch old movies together. At night, they'd sleep in the same bed together, completely curled up into one another. The whole time, Yuki kept waiting for some unspeakable terror, but it never came. Instead, Yuki continued to spend all her time with Nozomi. She was such a good girl. Yuki had to spoil her. Anything Nozomi wanted, Yuki would get her in a heartbeat. One day, Nozomi asked if they could watch Jurassic Park together. It wouldn't be that scary, now that Nozomi was 10 years old. Naturally, she loved it. The 2 week observational period came and went. Other than that initial reaction, there was never even a hint that something was wrong with Nozomi. If anything, she looked to be healthier than ever before. The only negative side effect was her increased anxiety. But that would fade with time, Yuki was sure. After she dropped Nozomi off for her first day back at school, Yuki headed to the lab with her notes. She had already arranged a meeting with upper management. She showed them her findings. As far as they knew, the experiment was a success because Nozomi had been injected with her half-brother's cryptoglobin. Yuki proposed they needed to track down participants that the subject knew and cared for, and better yet, were related to. Months passed as Yuki continued her research. She had plenty of cryptoglobin again, and some patience. They were unaware of the project's true nature. There was no adverse reaction during their initial injection, nor did they suffer from cryptoglobin poisoning. However, their cryptoglobin would not be as strong as Nozomi's. One day, while at work, Yuki received a call from Nozomi's school. She had collapsed. Yuki ordered them to bring Nozomi to the hospital. It had been over a year since Nozomi received her transfusion. So why now? Some school employees arrived with Nozomi minutes later. She was still passed out, but breathing. As much as Yuki wanted to carry her herself, she was too weak and frail, so she ordered the hospital staff to get her on a gurney. They offered to take her to the emergency room. Yuki refused. The only place she could be fixed was the lab, so Yuki rolled Nozomi there herself. Thankfully, Nozomi showed no signs of cryptoglobin poisoning. If anything, her symptoms were more akin to severe anemia. Upon analyzing Nozomi's blood, Yuki found the cryptoglobin was devouring the regular blood cells, exhausting Nozomi's stored up iron. Thankfully, Yuki had a surplus of Aito's blood she could give to Nozomi. As soon as she received her brother's blood, Nozomi began to stir. Mom? What what happened? It's okay, Nozomi. You just needed another transfusion. Your iron levels are very low, so I'll fix it. I'm sorry. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. But what about your experiment? It will be fine. I'll make adjustments to make it safer. Nozomi still looked unsure, so Yuki embraced her. Nozomi hugged her back. Even with anemia, Nozomi was just as warm as her father had been. She'd need time to recover. A few days off from school wouldn't hurt. Yuki could bring her to the lab for iron infusions. Nozomi wouldn't mind. She never passed up a chance to be with Yuki. Yuki couldn't afford to leave Nozomi unsupervised. She'd have Nozomi come to the lab right after school every day. There, she'd work on homework. If anything gave her trouble, Yuki could easily help her find the answer. Despite her history of absences, Nozomi was a bright student, always eager to learn. On days Nozomi didn't feel well, Yuki would let her skip school and come to the lab. It didn't matter how small it was, Yuki couldn't risk it. The other scientists and patients were accustomed to Nozomi's presence, praising her for her politeness and strength. She was by all means such a good girl. One night, Yuki was working in the lab as hard as ever. While she was in the process of creating a drug to help with Nozomi's anemia, other patients had begun to experience anemia. Not as severe, though. She stretched and looked over to the small desk where Nozomi usually sat. Seeing she wasn't there, Yuki got up and looked. Yuki picked up the pace and searched around her entire lab. Everyone had long since gone home. Her heart began to race. Nozomi? She called out, but there was no answer. Nozomi could have fainted or wandered where she shouldn't have. Nozomi! I'm here, Mom! Yuki turned to see Nozomi, accompanied by Ririka. Nozomi, how many times have I told you? You can't go wandering off on your own. I'm sorry. Just go back to the lab and wait there for me, please. Okay. I'm sorry if she gave you trouble. Oh, no worries. Bye, Miss Rika. Bye, Nozomi. Yuki waited until she was sure Nozomi had left. I'm sorry. I told her to stay in the lab. She didn't say anything. She didn't see anything, did she? Just the door to my project, but it's always locked shut. Though she was naturally curious when I found her. I'll tell her to leave it alone then. There was a silence. I'm sorry. You already said that. I mean, for how I acted before. I shouldn't have been so cruel to you. Ah, it's water under the bridge. I mean, it's stressful being responsible for saving humanity. It's okay if you snap a little once in a while. I know. I'm. You know, I did miss you. I don't. I always considered you my friends, and I miss chatting. Yuki never considered Rurika her friend. That's nice. I mean, unfortunately, I can't really spend a lot of time with you. I'm sorry. No, I get it. I don't exactly have a lot of free time myself. We're just busy working gals. Yeah. Aito's doing really good. Dr. Haruki doesn't update me on his memories, but I could ask on your behalf. Maybe you could come see him. No, I mean, it's fine, Rurika, but thank you. No worries. Well, I better get back to business. Good luck on your project, Yuki. See you around. Thank you. Good night. A year passed. Were it not for her calendar, Yuki would never be able to tell. She missed the seasons, even winter. But while life in the TRC never changed, Nozomi did. She was getting bigger and stronger. It made the anemia easy on her. Yuki combined Aito's blood with an iron supplement. The more Nozomi took it, the easier her rejection symptoms would be. Unfortunately, they appeared in more patients. Some patients would leave over it, taking anti-cryptoglobin and never looking back. Yuki had no choice but to comply. She considered transfusing Nozomi's blood into other patients, but she refrained as she knew it would no doubt kill them. But more importantly, she couldn't risk letting anyone find out the true origin of Nozomi's cryptoglobin. For months, Yuki's research began to decline. It was then that upper management approached with an offer. No, it was a demand. The military wanted to train Nozomi. Yuki contested she was not a soldier. They reminded her she was the only success. Yuki had been here before. This illusion of choice was far from new to her. At least this time, it came from strangers. They were upfront about their demand. I'll discuss it with her. Thank you. Ideally, we would never want your daughter to fight. However, we need to keep an open mind in case our main project fails. You understand. Yes, I do. All too well. Later, Nozomi came to the lab after school. As usual, she laid her book bag on her desk, ready to start her homework. Nozomi, can you come here? Is something wrong? I just need to talk to you in private. Okay. Nozomi obediently followed her into Yuki's private office. What she was asking wasn't dangerous. It was just training. Sure, Nozomi was 12 years old, but that wasn't so young. What is it, Mom? I have been approached, and the military would like to train you. Train? Am I gonna fight world death? No, no. They just want to see how your cryptoglobin works. So it would help with your experiment if I did it? Yes, it would. But it would be physically taxing, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I don't mind. I'd love to help you. I'll do it. It will be very physically taxing, Nozomi. That's okay. If anything happens, you'll help me, so I'll do it. It'll be fun. Of course. So it'll be fine. I'll work hard and get you more data so the project can be a success. Thank you, Nozomi. Always, Mom. It hurt. It hurt how easy that was. But it needed to be done. It needed to be done for Nozomi and Aito's sakes. Chapter 7: Nervous System. 3 years. 3 years trying and failing to reproduce Nozomi's results. 3 years watching Nozomi learn how to use a gun and fight. 3 years not knowing what Aito was experiencing. 3 years working herself to the bone. 3 years sacrificing whatever little she had. 3 whole years just to have her research unceremoniously ended by a letter. As soon as she received it, Yuki stormed into a meeting with upper management and the other scientists to argue her case. Dr. Kirafuji, what is the meaning of this? I ask you to reinstate my research. You know we can't do that. The SDU project is moving forward. Your transfusion research is no longer necessary. My project is working. Nozomi's rejection symptoms have lessened, and she's gotten stronger. The same goes for the other patients. It's still not even half as strong as the SDU. We don't need to risk human lives over this. If you're concerned about Subject 4, we assure you he will be returned to you once the mission is successful. What if the mission fails entirely? What then? You'll have nothing to fight the invaders with. That's why you need my patience. We have arranged countermeasures. All your patients will have their cryptoglobin removed as soon as possible. Fine, but you can't take my daughter's cryptoglobin. It's not a danger to her, therefore it needn't be removed. I am her mother, therefore I have every right to make that decision. I also know my daughter would agree to keep it as well. They all looked at her with utter disdain and horror, completely blind to their own monstrous actions. The vile hypocrites. Very well. However, you are hereby banned from conducting any form of research or work here at Kamakura General Hospital. Take this time to reconsider your choice and be a true mother to your daughter. Yuki gritted her teeth and curled her fingers. Thank you for speaking with me. I will gather my things and leave. Yuki bowed her head to the savage idiots before her and took her leave. As soon as she exited the room, she stormed off to her office. There, she furiously packed whatever rightfully belonged to her. She never kept anything personal, except for Nozomi's gifts to her, such as the drawings she made for her when she was 5. Nozomi's personal effects would also needed to be packed up. She made herself quite at home in this lab, so there were quite a few things to pack. Yuki was alone. The researchers that worked under her immediately vanished as soon as they heard the news. It wasn't like she cared for them personally. They were only co-workers, and they knew it. As much as she wanted to take Aito's blood with her, she knew upper management would instantly catch her. Aito was their property, after all. It would be fine. Somehow Yuki would show them all. Show them that human cryptoglobin users were possible. Even without access to Aito's blood, she could still use Nozomi's blood. Yuki? What do you want? Rika sheepishly entered Yuki's domain. Her usual annoying smile was gone. I heard about what happened. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry your project got canceled. Just get out of here. No, I'm just really concerned. You need a friend right now. How about I can help you pack and maybe we could head back to my place. And maybe I could help you calm down and we could figure something out. Yuki was about to shout at her to leave until she realized this was an opportunity. Rika was still involved in the project, meaning she could still get some cryptoglobin if she played her cards right. You know, maybe that would help, but I have to get all this home before Nozomi's done with school. Help you carry it to your car. It's not that much. Plus, it's only 11 a.m. You have plenty of time. You're right. Okay. I'm sorry I lashed out. It's completely understandable, so don't worry about it. Rika was surprisingly very helpful and strong. She carried almost all the boxes without any problem. Then again, Yuki was exceptionally weak and frail. Once everything was dropped off at Yuki's apartment, they headed to Rurika's place. It was surprisingly close. The first thing that caught Yuki's eyes was the Butsudan in the corner of the room. Inside, surrounded by medals, was a picture of a red-handed man in uniform, most likely Rurika's father. Yuki didn't comment. The apartment seemed pretty average, except for the racks of weights and dumbbells. No man could likely tolerate Rurika's loud mouth, so she just lived alone. All right, here you go. Rurika handed her a hot cup with a smile. Yuki lightly bowed her head in feigned gratitude. If she wanted to use Rurika, she had to ease her into it. I just can't believe it's over. Yeah, I can only imagine how disheartening it all feels. I spent so much time trying to get everything right. Yeah, I understand. It's not easy. You poured so much of yourself into that project. I did. But maybe it's for the best. What do you mean? Well, I know you were doing your best, but there were rejection symptoms, Yuki. I know, but they were getting better. Yes, but still, it's not enough. I'm sorry, but objectively speaking, it wasn't going to work out. I just can't let it go. Why? I just I just need to be able to keep doing this. I know I'm at something. What are you going to do when Nozomi has rejection symptoms again? Well, the thing is that I was hoping you could help me. So you want me to steal Cryptoglobin for you? I know it's risky, and I'm sorry to put this on you, but I need to do this for my daughter. Why can't you just give her anti-cryptoglobin? Why put her through this? Because we need a failsafe in case the original project fails. I don't intend for Nozomi to fight, but if I had more time to work with her blood, I could find us a solution. I don't know, Yuki. You might be better off letting it go. Believe me, the SDU project had its kinks, but it's working splendidly now. I can't! I don't want Aito to fight! What? That's why. That's why I'm working on this. I don't want my son to go to war. Yuki, I had no idea. I'm sorry. I know I should have told you, but I was just so worried that if anyone found out, they'd think I was a traitor to humanity. Oh, Yuki. Rika embraced her. I tried to hide my feelings, but after Ren died, I couldn't take it anymore. How could you? Oh, Yuki, I'm so sorry. I should have realized. Will you help me? Of course. Thank you, Rurika. Thank you so, so much. No worries. Us mothers need to look out for one another. If your project succeeds, then my baby doesn't have to go to war either. Exactly. Speaking of babies, I actually brought you here to show you something. To cheer you up. Sit tight. Yuki waited as Rurika ran to the other room. She sighed with relief, knowing her gamble had worked. It was risky, but that bit of honesty got Rurika on her side. Of course, now that meant she'd have to be extra friendly and social with Rurika to maintain her loyalty. It'd be exhausting, but it needed to be done. Here it is! Yuki looked to see Rurika gleefully holding up a big book. What is it? My secret photo album! Rurika happily opened it, and there were pictures of an embryo. Oh, was he so cute when he was just a couple of cells? Here's him at 4 months, then at 9 months. Oh, this is when we moved him to the dry tube. Oh, that's his first bath. Oh, my precious little Takumi was so cute. Yes, he's very cute. There were so many pictures of Rurika's subject. So many. Oh, and this is when he was 10 years old, then he was 13. Oh, look at him, he's so fuzzy. He's so cute. Yep, he's adorable. Oh, enough about me. This isn't what I wanted to show you. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. This is what I wanted to show you. Yuki blinked when she recognized those silver locks. Aito. She hadn't seen him in 8 years. Yet there he was, sleeping peacefully. She saw photos of him, growing and developing, all in his sleep, all alone. He was so beautiful and perfect. She had to see everything. She flipped and flipped, looking at every single photo she could, taking in every moment, until she saw one photo that caused everything to halt. Those eyes. Those eyes that glowed with the warmth of the sun and the moon. That long hair. That muscular body that swore to protect her. It was Vashnes, clad in armor and fully grown. Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I, 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 I just. You recognize her? No, no, I don't. I'm just. You don't have to lie. I knew you'd recognize her. You were best friends after all, weren't you, Yuki Arakawa? Chapter 8. Heart. I I don't know what you're talking about. It's okay. You can be honest with me. We're friends after all. I am being honest. I don't know. Man, you're so stubborn. So am I. See, I'm rather persistent. Militant, you could say. That photo is one of many pieces I've gathered over the years. Pictures and documents not even our fellow scientists could get access to. I'll let you guess what I had to do to get them. Do, do you think I did something wrong? Can you let me finish, please? Despite her claims, Rurika remained smiling and calm. Yuki was powerless to do anything. Anything could be a giveaway to what Rurika suspected. It's during my digging that I found your name. Yuki Arakawa, one of the key players in Project Honey. Pretty cute name for such a slimy thing. It was your job to gain the enemy's trust and learn their secrets. You did well there, and we did learn so much about the enemy. But then you had to go and ruin everything by failing to kill that monster when you were supposed to. Because of you, let's see, an estimated 800,000 people died. Rika really did know about that. She knew. How long, though? Wh- why now? Yuki had to convince her it was an accident. I'm I'm sorry, Rurika. I'm sorry I never told you. I'm sorry if you lost someone because of me, but I swear it was an accident. I didn't. I don't need to hear what you told the rest of them. I read it before. They wrote you off as a stupid, frail little girl. No need to punish her when we can use her instead. I knew better. Come on, admit it. Admit you chose to spare that monster. You'll feel so much better when you get it off your chest. Yuki couldn't take it anymore. She couldn't let this get out. She could never let anyone know. But her back was against the wall. So with all her strength, she lunged at Rurika. And instantly, Rurika pinned her down to the ground, holding her by the wrist with the strength of a dog's bite. Still smiling. Oh, that was actually nothing. I mean, I know I'm very strong, but you are just complete skin and bones. I'm. Rika, please, don't worry. Don't worry. My, I find it so funny. I mean, I'm pretty sure the reason they called that project Honey was because of that saying, the one with the flies. But ironically, it's very similar to this other little thing in history. The Russians called it a honey trap. Tell me, did you go so far as to have sex with that animal? Yuki growled. You did, didn't you? It! You fell in love with that monster and chose its life over humanity's. Wow. Oh, you have no proof. Do I? Because I'm pretty sure Nozomi will be proof enough. I always wondered what made Nozomi so special. If we ran a blood test without your input, what would we find? Nothing. We'll just have to find out. You're already on thin ice with upper management. Once I tell them the truth, oh boy, they won't show you any mercy. Yuki helplessly stared into the eyes of her judgment. Eyes she thought she knew, even though they irritated her before. Despite everything, this was Rika, her true self. Rika, please. I know I hurt you, but please don't take me away from my children. I'll, I'll pay for my mistake, but they need their mother, just as your son needs you. Son? Oh, you mean Takumi. I guess biologically speaking, I am his mother, but he's an animal, Yuki. Animals aren't our children. At best, they can be our obedient little pets, just like your exotic little pet. Can see you're utterly horrified by the ramifications of everything you've done. And you know what? Since we're best friends, I'm going to give you a head start. You can't do anything. There's nowhere you can go on this satellite that we won't be able to find you. But you know what? You're a clever girl. You've escaped justice for this long, so maybe you'll surprise me. Rurika released her grip and rose from the floor, perfectly unbothered. Without thinking, Yuki stumbled onto her feet and ran out the door. Surprised, Rurika led her. Yuki nearly tripped down the stairs on the way to her car. Her heart was racing a mile a minute. It felt like Rurika was right behind her, teeth bared. Why? Why? Yuki shakily pulled open the car door. She had to go, had to get out. God, God! She can't breathe. She had to escape. Without thinking, Yuki started the car and drove. Anything to get her away from Rika. Damn it, why? Why? It's not her fault. What did she do to deserve this? Why now? Why not kill her? Why? Why? No, of course. This was all part of her fucked up amusement. She saw it in her eyes. Rika was hell-bent. She was bluffing. She wasn't going to tell everyone. She couldn't. They'd all know. They'd tear limb from limb, rip out every piece of information from her. They would never grant her a merciful death. It wasn't! Suddenly, Yuki's car was struck by another. Glass exploded everywhere as the car spun out of control. How ironic. Yuki closed her eyes, but death did not take her. Aside from scratches of glass, nothing wounded her. Nothing would save her. Onlookers called for an ambulance. The other driver yelled at her, but she couldn't register anything. She couldn't hear over the ringing in her ears. Of course, Yuki just had to be dragged back to Kamakura General Hospital. There, the doctor poked and prodded, looking for any problems. She couldn't feel any of it. Her heart might as well have been dead. The doctor left Yuki. The room was cold as a morgue. It might as well have been. She expected, at any moment, men would burst through the door and grab her. Humanity finally getting their revenge. But someone else came bursting through the door. Mom, are you okay? It was Nozomi. Are you okay? Yes, I was just in a car crash. Yeah! A car crash! Are you okay? I just have a few scratches. I'm fine. Oh my... Mom! I heard. I heard what happened. Nozomi held Yuki's hands, stinging her with warmth. I know they canceled the project, but surely they'll see that they made a mistake, and they'll have to reinstate you. I mean, you've done so much for everyone. Yuki couldn't say anything else. If she did, she might have cried. We'll worry about all that later. For now, let's wait for the doctor to get back. Then let's focus on getting home, okay? Home? That place was no home. Nowhere in this satellite was home. This place was always her cage, and now it would be her tomb. The doctor gave Yuki a clean bill of health and discharged her. Nozomi ordered a cab. Every step Yuki walked, Nozomi was there to hold on and support her. She went as far as to swap Yuki's shoes for her once they managed to get to the apartment. You should take a bath. I can help you. Is that okay, Mom? Yuki was too exhausted to refuse, so she just nodded. Nozomi pulled her to the bathroom and helped her undress. Yuki was so focused on that scar etched into Nozomi. All right, there we go. Okay, just gotta clean here. Doesn't that feel good, Mom? Yuki couldn't respond. Despite how gentle Nozomi was, gently massaging her scalp, making sure every part of her was clean. Yuki could only focus on their scars. Scars left by her. After the bath, Nozomi started making dinner. Yuki sat at the table. I think everything will work out. You're the best scientist they have, so they'll have to see they made a mistake. Once the meal was ready, Nozomi happily placed it before Yuki. Yuki, however, lacked the will to move even so much as a finger. Here, Mom, you need your strength. Do you want something else? Yuki couldn't even shake her head, yet Nozomi persisted. You know what? I'll make something else. Just a moment. Nozomi went back to the kitchen and made soup instead. Is this easier? She really was her father's child. Here, let me help you. Nozomi took it upon herself to spoon feed her own Yuki. Come on, you gotta get your strength back, Mom. Help me just a little? Yuki managed to pry open her mouth, and Nozomi fed her. She just kept smiling and feeding her till the bowl was empty, and Nozomi returned to eat her own meal, which had gone cold. Nozomi. Yes, Mom? Yuki faltered upon Nozomi's gaze. We we need to remove your cryptoglobin. What? Remove it? It will be healthier. No, I mean, it's really not that bad. You've seen it. I'm getting stronger. I know how to manage it. I haven't had rejection symptoms for 6 months. If we got rid of it now, we'd have to start from scratch. I see. I'm sorry. I I didn't mean to raise my voice. I I don't want to waste your work. I understand. An unsteady silence fell over them. Nozomi finished her meal and washed the dishes. She would return to Yuki and hold her hand. It's been a long day. Why don't we go to bed early? That's a good idea. Can I sleep with you, Mom? Yes. Nozomi fell asleep in seconds, leaving Yuki all alone. There was a bit of illumination from the street lamps outside, but it paled in comparison to the soft comfort of moonlight. Yuki rolled to her side and embraced Nozomi. She was still so warm. Did she get warmer? No. Yuki just got colder. Nozomi had gotten so big. Aito did too. Soon, Yuki would never see either of them ever again. Yet, her heart ached for someone else, someone she shouldn't have. Richness. She was so beautiful in that photo. Yuki had only gazed upon her matured form for a few seconds, and yet she remembered every detail. Her flowing silver hair, her eyes that glowed with the light of the sun and moon, and her large, muscular body, a body so strong and warm she could happily curl up into it. She remembered one such time she did. That day she was so hot she begged for a cool wind and received rain. So much rain it blotted out the sky with gray. Suddenly, a body that had once yearned for cool now yearned for the warmth of the sun yet again. Veshness, holding her hand, led her to the safety of a tree. Under its branches, she wrapped her body around her. She was so warm. She couldn't help but think back to when they first met. How lucky she was. She wasn't just saved, she was accepted. Back in the miserable present, Yuki could still remember the beat of Veshness's heart. She held Nozomi closer. Then she realized Nozomi's heartbeat was the same as Veshness's. Yuki left the bed, careful not to wake Nozomi. She tiptoed through the darkness of the sterile apartment. Finally, she found what she was looking for in the fridge. She walked back, careful and steady. Were there moonlight, she'd no doubt cast a shadow over Nozomi. She always had. Carefully, she knelt down. She could find Nozomi's veins in the dark. This would hurt. She'd no doubt scream. But it needed to be done. It needed to be done. Yuki lifted the syringe just a few inches, but she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it! That scene, that scene rushed back to her. That cold, cold night. God! Yuki dropped the syringe to the floor and cried. God! Ah. Mom? What's wrong? Zomi woke up. Zomi embraced Yuki. Despite her warmth, the ice in Yuki's heart would not melt. She clung to Nozomi for dear life, unable to say anything through her crying. Oh, it's okay, Mom. I'm here for you. Just like you're always here for me. We'll get through this together. Nozomi ushered Yuki back to bed. Completely oblivious to the syringe Yuki kicked under the bed. If you're scared, don't be. I'll never leave you, Mom. Never, ever. I'll always stay by your side, no matter what. Yuki still couldn't speak, but she could hold Nozomi tighter. She'd hold on as long as she could, as long as Veshness's blood ran through her veins. Chapter 9. Amygdala. The next morning, Yuki awoke to Nozomi's soft smile. See? I'm still here. Yuki blinked and realized it was 9 a.m. You're going to be late for school. Can I stay home with you? Sure. Yay! We should wake up, though. Okay, I'll make you breakfast. What do you want to do today? I honestly don't know. Then let's watch a movie. Just you and me. That sounds nice. Nozomi smiled even bigger. Yuki didn't deserve her. For the rest of the day, Nozomi stayed glued to Yuki's side. Yet for whatever reason, Yuki's mind still drifted back to the past. On the outside, she was side by side with Nozomi, watching a movie. But on the inside, she was back on Futurum, back in the past. Back with Veshness. Are you okay? Did something happen? I got into a fight with my dad. It's okay, he doesn't know. It's just, he expects a lot of me. Sometimes I worry he'll send me back to the satellite. But never! You're the smartest, most capable person I know, Yuki. Thank you, Veshness. Here, I want to show you something, but we gotta be quiet. Oh? Okay. Veshness offered her hand. Yuki curled her fingers around Veshness's. Together they walked through the forest, hand in hand. It was heaven. Free, fresh, and alive. Carefully, they crawled through some bushes. Yuki nodded, and there, through the leaves, they saw it. Two little bear cubs playing while their mother sunbathed. Yuki almost wanted to squee, it was so cute, but she kept quiet. So instead, as a sign of her gratitude, she rested her head against Veshness. Her knight in shining armor. She couldn't throw this away. She couldn't throw any of this away. And it's not like Yuki's people were the same humans that killed Veshness's parents. They weren't dangerous. They were just observers. Just like Yuki and Veshness right now. So, whatever Veshness didn't know, it wouldn't hurt her. She didn't need to know. On the third day, Yuki thought back to her father. Were it not for him, she would never have been able to learn about Earth and later on discover Futurum. As soon as she made her way back to the base in the mountains, he scolded her. She'd never seen him so angry. Dad, please, don't send me back! I don't want to go! I don't care! It's not safe for you here! But I came back just fine! You got lucky. I'm not going to argue with you. You're going back to the satellite, and that's final. Images of her peers' apathetic faces flashed before her. That empty apartment, meals eaten alone. She couldn't go back to that. She needed to stay. I made a friend! What? I there was this girl. Her name is Veshness. She's a Futuran, Dad. What? She's the one who saved me. And I um I I just I could learn her language and then I could thank her and then I could learn stuff for you guys for your project. I can be helpful. Other scientists stopped and watched. Another scientist occurred. Is that true? Was that she the only one? I yes, she's very nice. She's very kind. She's around the same age as me. She saved me, Dad. Sir, if this is true, we could get a translator and we could stop. Everyone waited with bated breath. Dad? You said this girl saved you, all on her own? Yes! If I could learn her language, I could ask her anything. I'm sure of it. I can help you. I'll consider it. Then, but you have to do everything I say. Understood? Yes, Dad. Anything. Anything you say. As long as I can stay. On the base. I haven't made up my mind yet, Yuki. Be patient. I understand. Thank you for listening. One of the scientists led Yuki to her father's bedroom. As she walked, she turned back to see the other scientists crowd around her father. She'd never seen that type of expression on his face before. Maybe because she never really saw him at all. On the fourth day, Yuki recalled a particularly windy day in her past. Wind felt so good and refreshing back then, pushing her from all sorts of directions. Freshness wasn't a big fan of it, understandably, as it whipped her long silver hair all around and into her face. Ah! Here, let me help you. Oh, thanks, Yuki. No problem. Tell me, do you get winds as crazy as this up on the satellite? Nope. It's always the same temperature. No weather, nothing crazy, always the same. Oh, wow. Sounds kind of nice. It's not. It's so boring. Well, I'd take boring if it was safe. No, trust me, you wouldn't. I'd rather be in danger than live in a boring, stuffy place surrounded by boring, stuffy people. Ow! Ow! Sorry, I didn't mean to pull so hard. It's okay, Yuki. I guess it's easy to take things for granted. Like you said, everything exists for a reason. I hate the cold, but it makes getting warm again feel even better. Exactly! There! All done! Veshnis fiddled with the newly made side braid. She turned to Yuki. It's perfect! Thank you, Yuki. You're welcome. Um, if you want, I could braid your hair if you want. I appreciate it, but I don't mind keeping it down. It feels nice. Okay, whatever you want, Yuki. On the fifth day, Yuki remembered when the military rescued her. They found her, curled up beside her father's corpse, in the wreckage of her bedroom. She was utterly exhausted, fending off scavengers. In her hand, she clutched her recently made pendant. None of the soldiers were any the wiser as to what was sealed inside it. The soldiers treated the infected cuts on her throat. They provided her water and a bit of food. Once Yuki was more stable, the biggest man among them approached. So, Yuki Arakawa? Even if Yuki wanted to speak, she couldn't. So she just nodded her head. Another soldier was beside him. She's clearly traumatized from the whole event. Clearly. No doubt a commander did this. Yuki shook her head. Wait, you're saying it wasn't a commander? Go get a pen and paper. Understood, sir. He returned, and Yuki tried her best to explain. It was difficult with her shaking hand. I see. So you're saying a young invader transformed and did this? Yuki nodded. Where did this thing go? The general laid down a map before Yuki. The smell of death and decay still clung to her. If she didn't point to that forest, there would be even more death and decay. Yuki pointed on the map and wrote the number of people living there. She also wrote that they had blood. I see. So that's why that thing attacked you. You poor girl. We'll take care of it. We'll kill that monster. She never saw those men again. She would take the first ship back to the satellite, leaving behind many more to die and decay by the hands of the monster she created. But was it really her fault? She gave Veshnis a chance to run away with her, a chance to forget her, a chance to leave in peace. Any option would have avoided what had come after, and yet Veshnis didn't choose a single one. Therefore, it was all her fault, not Yuki's. Then came the 6th day. It was a day like all the ones before. Nozomi and Yuki woke up in the same bed. Nozomi stayed home to make breakfast. Neither of them had left the house for 5 days. They were beginning to run low on food, so Nozomi asked to go out. If Nozomi left, it was possible upper management would finally drag Yuki out of hiding, unless Ririka still hadn't told them by some miracle. There was no way to know, but perhaps having Nozomi out of the house when they came would be for the best. Once breakfast was done, Nozomi prepared to leave for the store. Yuki hugged her for what could have likely been the last time. Yuki waited in silence. She would accept humanity's punishment for her, even if they were wrong to do so. It needed to be done. Before she could slip into another memory, she heard a knock at the door. It was too chipper to be the authorities. See you, Yuki! It's been a while! Where are they? Who? The authorities. Sorry to disappoint, but it's just me. Without even asking, Rurika walked right in like she owned the place. She knew Yuki couldn't do anything about it. Well, how have you been doing? You smell terrible. What do you want, Rurika? Okay, okay, I see. Right to business. Jeez, no chatting. I see. Well, I just wanted to come and tell you that I told everyone your dirty little secret. Of course. Just wanting to gloat. Whatever. She knew this was going to happen. Well, I was expecting a bit more from you. I mean, I was hoping you would put up more of a fight, but you just spent all your time just sitting on the couch and rotting away. I really expected more. When are they coming? Well, they didn't tell me, but if I had to guess, they'll be at your door tomorrow night. They don't exactly want to cause a scene. Detaining a mother and her daughter looks pretty bad to onlookers, even if you aren't a mother in the slightest. Nozomi is innocent in all this. Well, I know that. We just need to cover our bases and test her blood. Then she'll go to a foster care or something. Yuki gritted her teeth. It didn't matter. It was a miracle she had lasted this long. She just had to accept her fate, as unfair as it was. Whatever they did to her couldn't be worse than the hell she already lived. You know, you can easily imagine how everyone reacted when I told them. They weren't all that surprised given your recent stunts. But you know what did surprise me was the punishment they came up with for you. I mean, I just assumed after they tortured all the information they could from you, they'd just leave you to rot in a cell. But they have a much kinder punishment planned for you. You're so clearly infatuated with those feral animals to the point it's clouded your judgment. Love is the most powerful thing, so if we were to remove it, well, it'd certainly make the interrogation 10 times easier. What? Dominic, reconstruction therapy. You wouldn't know since you left the project, but it's a rather handy device they've come up with. Originally, we were using it on the subjects in case they picked up any inconvenient thoughts. Then we used it on some terrorists, and now we can erase any memories we want. You're lying. I knew you'd say that, so I brought proof. Rika pulled out a stack of papers from her purse and slid them over to Yuki. It was real. All the data and pictures, all of it signed off by upper management. So much better. For starters, you'll no longer have to take all that medication. You can finally get a good night's sleep and maybe clear off those eye bags of yours. You'll lose all memory of that vile beast that killed your father and left you stranded amongst corpses for 2 straight days. Even the supposedly happy memories of her will be erased so they don't hurt you. Won't that be such a relief? They can even make you forget that little abomination you called your son. They can even make you forget your time as a scientist. All of it gone and replaced with a more ignorant existence among the blind masses. Then you can be a proper mother to your daughter. With every word, Yuki's hair stood more and more on end. A cold shiver down her spine quickly turned into a fire under her skin. Her heart desperately tried to beat out of her rib cage. She couldn't breathe. The beating of her heart pounded in her ears. Rurika just grinned. Her vision blurred and disoriented her, causing her to fall out of her chair. But the harsh thud on the floor didn't snap her out of it. She still couldn't breathe. She was dying. Would. She would accept her death with dignity, as long as she could escape humanity's malice. Everything went dark, but Yuki didn't die. Slowly, against her will, Yuki woke up. She was back in her bed, and at her bedside, sitting patiently, was Nozomi. Oh, good! You're awake! What, what happened? You've passed out! I was so worried, but it's okay. I was just wanting to know what happened. I guess I must have fell. My all-nighters must be catching up with me still. Are you sure? I was really worried. It didn't look like you hit your head or anything. Did something happen? No, I just must be so tired these days. Mom, be honest with me. What's going on? I can't help you if I don't know. I'm fine. I just tripped. It won't happen again. Nozomi looked unconvinced. Next time, I'll just order food. Despite the pain, Yuki forced herself to sit up. There won't be a next time. You need to go back to school. Mom, you fell and were unconscious for 2 hours. I can't leave you now. It was an accident, not a symptom. I will be fine. I can manage while you're at school, and then you can come right back. But that's final. Nozomi bit her lip before bowing her head. I'm sorry. Yuki placed a hand on Nozomi's cheek. I appreciate you looking out for me. But as your mother, it's my job to look out for you. Okay. Good girl. That night, Yuki stopped taking her medication. She had a wonderful dream, even though it turned into a gory nightmare. The next day, Yuki and Nozomi woke up early. Nozomi was going to school after all, so she needed time to prepare. Yuki helped by braiding Nozomi's hair while she brushed her teeth. Before Nozomi could start to make breakfast, Yuki grabbed the pan. Let me help you. Are you sure? I really don't mind making breakfast. I know, which is why I want us to make it together. It'll taste better that way. Together, they created a simple, yet beautiful breakfast. For once, Yuki savored the flavor. Nozomi happily savored her food as well. Are you sure you don't want me to stay home today? I don't mind. I'll be fine. I'm feeling much better, and it's not like I'll be going outside. Okay, but if you need me, just call me and I'll come right back home. I will keep that in mind. After breakfast, Nozomi prepared to leave for school. She opened the door and was about to wave until she ran back to embrace Yuki. Yuki held her close. She could feel under Nozomi's warmth she was shaking. It'll be okay. I love you, Nozomi. I love you too, Mom. I love you so much. She'd have to let go eventually. Nozomi would be late otherwise. But it didn't matter. Nothing mattered anymore. Eventually, Nozomi let go and forced a smile. I'll be back as soon as possible. I'll see you then. Nozomi walked into the doorway before turning and waving goodbye. I'll see you soon. Love you. Yuki waved back. I love you too. Nozomi closed the door. Just to be safe, Yuki stayed right where she was. It was possible the authorities could have stormed her right then and there. Yuki walked back to the table with a pencil and paper. She had all of last night to consider her words. No. She had been waiting and contemplating this for 21 years. Yuki exhaled. Now came the easy part. Of all the ways she considered, she chose the option most akin to the sensation she desired. It would be okay. Nozomi and Aito would find each other. They would come to live, surrounded by wild flora and fauna, under the vast sky, on a planet far more free and warm than this cold, sterile hell. With that in mind, Yuki closed her eyes and gave in to gravity. Instantly, she felt the familiar grip of Veshness's transformed hand around her throat. Soon, Veshness would join her wherever monsters like them go. Yuki smiled. Finally. 2. Nozomi. I'll start with the truth. The reason upper management canceled my cryptoglobin research was because they already had a better solution to world death. A solution that wouldn't endanger the lives of humans. I knew because I worked on it before arrogantly deciding to inject cryptoglobin into human beings. I always knew it would hurt people, yet I still pushed forward. In the process, I hurt so many people, especially you. At least you and the others can remove your cryptoglobin. Soon, world death will end, and you'll be able to see the starry night sky. I want you to remove your cryptoglobin so you can freely explore the planet. I cannot tell you why I became so monstrous, but it has nothing to do with you. I was like this long before you were born. I've hurt countless people. Not even your father knew, because I purposefully hid it from him. Thankfully, you've always been more like your father, even now. Zomi, I'm sorry for leaving you to find me like this. I'm sorry for all the ways I have hurt you, for pushing you away, for telling you about world death, especially at such a young age, for leaving you to take care of yourself after your father died, for injecting you with cryptoglobin while you were still growing, for only being there for you when you were physically hurt, or, more often, when I needed something. None of this was ever your fault. I was always the one at fault. I was a monster. Despite all the pain I put you through, you tried as hard as you could to help and comfort me. I was so grateful for you. I never deserved you. I should have never have taken advantage of your noble heart. I should have kept you out of my research. I should have let you grow up far away from me and my poison. You deserved so much better. Zomi, please, don't blame yourself. There was nothing you could have done. You made my final days so joyous and bright. Which is why I want you to move on without me. I know you can do it. You can take care of yourself. You have to. Then, one day, I'm sure you will find someone who truly deserves your love. Goodbye, Nozomi. Chapter 10. The Hound's Eyes. Finally, after so long, the day of judgment had arrived. Gleefully, Rurika stepped towards the pod that held her most precious treasure. She wished she could squeeze him tight one last time. She wished she could join him on the battlefield. But unlike most women, she knew how to control herself. The other researchers didn't even bother to show up and give any parting words to their subjects, so Rurika had the whole room to herself. Rurika looked over to Subject 4. He was so ugly, just like the bitch he came from. While she of course wanted the mission to succeed, Rurika wouldn't mind if Subject 4 died horribly in the process. He might as well have been dead after his whole family died in his dream world. Yet Subject 4 persisted, perhaps out of the same desperation his harlot mother had. Disgusting! Rurika turned her gaze back onto Kakumi to cleanse her eyes. Such a handsome lad! She raised him so well. Ah, my precious, precious boy. All right, you're going to make me proud, me and your grandfather. When you get down there, I want you to kill as many of those filthy animals as you can. All right? Do it for me. Do it for Kawa. Do it for all those you love and hold dear. And when you get back, I'll have a special surprise just for you. Love truly was the most powerful force in the universe. It was her love for her father, even when he rejected her, that made her such a strong soldier. Had that bitch not taken her father away, Rurika surely would have proven herself to him, proven that despite her gender, she could help him win the war. Rurika was certain, from the moment she brought Takumi into this world, that she would make him into the finest soldier. Even if he wasn't planned to be the leader for the unit, she knew he would be the strongest one of all, because he had Nozomi. After work, Rurika headed out of the lab with a pep in her step. Soon, humanity would take their rightful place on the planet, as was their destiny. It amused her when she walked by others who were completely oblivious to the Grand War. She'd die if she were ever like them. Rurika continued to walk with pride. One root of her pain was long gone, and Rurika didn't even have to slit her throat. A dumber, more emotional woman would have killed her directly, but Rurika was far more clever and restrained than that. All she had to do was bluff, and that washed-up hag hung herself, choosing the memories of her exotic pet over her own daughter. So shameful. I mean, wouldn't it have just been easier to just down a bunch of pills? Going for hanging is certainly a way to make your daughter hate you. No, that child would never hate her mother. But in that process, that cowardly monster left behind a most obedient and demure daughter. That's what Rika was truly after. She remembered so fondly that first night. After some subtle hints, she left the door open to the lab, and that sick little girl wandered in and found her little Takumi. She needed this. Even if Rurika had already based Kawawa off of Nozomi from the start, this real-life encounter would add an extra layer of authenticity, which is why it needed to happen. Oh, and Yuki was none the wiser as her sick little daughter kept visiting her precious little Takumi, her only friend in the world. Nozomi truly was sick, in both mind and body. Surprising, given her less than desirable lineage. Why, the very night that Rurika had snuck into the apartment to observe her handiwork, she was so utterly horrified to find that sick little girl had taken down her own hanging mother and curled up with the corpse as if she was alive. How that girl managed to handle the smell, Rurika would never know. Seriously, what a broken, pathetic little thing. I mean, Rurika would have loved to see her father, but she would never stoop this low. After upper management got word of the troublesome scientist's untimely demise, one of her co-workers stepped in as Nozomi's legal guardian. Rurika convinced upper management to keep Nozomi's cryptoglobin as a backup. In reality, she wanted Nozomi to stay sick and frail. Takumi would become a knight in shining armor to protect his frail princess from the wicked witch that was her mother. Ah, yes. Nozomi's traitorous mother had raised her to be ever so polite and obedient, making the Domenic reconstruction therapy easy as pie. First, Rurika erased Nozomi's memory of her mother's suicide note. As carefully worded as it was, it would be a problem if Nozomi remembered it. When Rurika first read it, she nearly puked from how over melodramatic it was, as if 17 years of abuse could be undone by written words alone. Oh, Yuki, a monster till the bitter end. The replacement memory would be of an unapologetic note, with mention of an enemy of mankind to give it authenticity. No goodbye, no explanation, no catharsis. That's what those two deserved. Second, and much more painfully, Rurika erased Nozomi's memory of Takumi. It was only temporary, until Takumi came home from his mission successfully. He deserved a submissive and doting wife when he returned from war. Rurika couldn't help but wonder what her monstrous little grandbabies would look like. Such cute little abominations. Just to be safe, Rurika suppressed memories of herself from Nozomi's mind as well. She couldn't risk upper management finding out. Finally, Rurika arrived outside Nozomi's apartment, as was her routine. Nozomi should have been home by that hour, making dinner all by her lonesome, as was routine. Aww. But for some reason, she wasn't there. Perhaps she collapsed somewhere from her rejection symptoms. Or maybe she found a friend somehow. No, it was most likely the first. Well, it doesn't matter. Wherever that sick, twisted little girl went off to, I'll find her. Bring her back to the stupid, lonesome apartment. She can't escape the fate I have intended for her. After all, that's what she gets for being the lowly daughter of a traitorous witch. The end.